welcome. This is Jacqueline Johnston, and this is You Awakening, and we're here with Patricia, Cota, Robles. And I am so excited to have her with us tonight to give us some insights about what's happening in this cosmic moment of time, this opportunity to shift to a greater level of awareness and consciousness. And first, I'd like to thank you for taking the time from the busy holiday seasons to be with us. We know it's important to you, and we all align together in a community in this way. And let's benefit now from the message that Patricia has. I've followed her work for many years and have attended live events, and I really believe that she is an illuminated messenger on this planet and so crucial to what's happening. So I'm absolutely thrilled that she's taking her time today to be with us. Patricia, welcome.
Well, thank you, Jacqueline. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, we're thrilled, and I would like to ask one question that normally doesn't come out in your newsletters that I bet many people would be curious about finding out the answer. Would you be able to share with us briefly how you opened yourself to, channeling the beat, not channeling, to telepathically communicating with the beings of light? And is there any possibility that we could open in this way too?
Well, yes, certainly. I'll be happy to answer that question. For me personally, I think like everybody else, I went through the gamut of world religions and psychology and studies of the powers of the mind and all of those kinds of things, trying to find the answers as to why there's so much pain and suffering in the world. How did we get to this place? Who am I? How can I make a difference? And what can I do? And all of the answers were very fragmented and very unfulfilling and didn't seem in any way to resonate as truth in my heart. And so I, over my sojourn, just kept going within and asking God, and we've all heard that statement, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven within, and all else will be revealed to you. And that was my goal, and I just kept meditating, going within, asking God, why in the world is there so much suffering in this planet? And then the important thing is that I took the time to listen for the answer. And over time, I just opened up to this open heart and mind telepathic communication. And what I realized in the information that was given to me by the Company of Heaven is that this has nothing to do with being psychic. It has nothing to do with having extrasensory, supernatural perception. It has nothing to do with channeling. It is the ability that we were always supposed to have and did have prior to our fall from grace. And when we fell into such dense frequencies of separation and duality, we literally short-circuited our brain connections to that higher realm. We closed our heart, and that caused our brain centers to, not connect with the frequencies of love in a way that caused our brain centers to become dormant, our crown chakra closed, and we lost the ability to communicate with our God self, our I Am presence, as well as the Company of Heaven. And what's important to know is we were never supposed to just struggle through this physical plane through trial and error. We were always supposed to have the guidance from our God self and from the heavenly realms. They're like college professors compared to us, the kindergarten students. And we instead fell into such denseness that we started perceiving our physical body as who we are, and the physical plane is all that exists. So it has just catapulted us into this quagmire. So what's happening is that we are reversing the adverse effects of our fall from grace. And because of wonderful miracles that have happened, and we'll talk about that through this program today, we now have the ability to connect with our God self and the Company in Heaven in ways that we have not experienced since our fall millions of years ago. And when I say we have the ability, I'm talking about every single man, woman, and child belonging to or serving the earth at this time. This has nothing to do with channeling or being psychic. I perceive myself to be a perfectly ordinary human being that just sought the answers tenaciously enough that I lifted up in a vibration that allowed me to reconnect. And I think what happened, for me and my service, I think each of us have an important facet of the unfolding divine plan. And mine was reconnecting with this in a way that I could help other people know that this is available for them too. So that's been my greatest mission and desire, is to empower every single person to get this information directly so that nobody has to depend on anyone outside of themselves for this communication from the heavenly realms, because no matter how clear you think someone is, no matter how sincere or dedicated, no matter how much you love or respect someone, it's still being filtered through that person's consciousness, which is going to be as a result of their experiences and their understanding and their comprehension, rather than you might have an entirely different perception of that. So by far the goal is for us to receive this information that's being given now, but then for us to go within and get that confirmation of whether this is truth or not for us, and the connection and information for our divine plans directly from the company of heaven and our God self for each of us individually.
That's wonderful news. And thank you for stepping up and fulfilling your mission. We all benefit.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure for all of us to be able to do this work and to bring this information through. This is a monumental, wondrous moment in the evolution of this planet, and we are all blessed to be here.
Absolutely. Maybe we could shift into talking about that. There was so much focus a year ago on December 12th through the 21st and 22nd, but a major shift in consciousness, and so much has happened again in this year, 2013, and I'm just wondering if you can tell us the significance of this cosmic moment and perhaps, touch into how can we best align and participate in this evolutionary process, this opportunity.
Sure, I'll be glad to talk about that. Last year on December 12th, this was 12-12-12, and in the outer world, this is a day that's celebrated as the feast day of the Virgin of Expression of Mother Mary, and that original apparition came to a Mexican peasant named Juan Diego about 500 years ago, and the reason for that is part of the divine plan to help bring back the feminine polarity of our Mother God, the activation of our Mother God, which we lost when we fell into such separation. And just like within ourselves, the masculine polarity of God enters our left brain, the rational, logical mind, the power center of our throat. This is our Father God's divine will, power, and authority. The feminine polarity activated our right brain hemisphere, the creative, intuitive mind, and our heart center, the love nature within us. And just like those energies are balanced within us, they are also balanced on the planet. And the masculine polarity of God enters the area of Tibet in the Himalayan mountains, and the feminine polarity enters as this tremendous shaft of light near Lake Titicaca in Bolivia in South America. Now, in the beginning, and just very briefly, this masculine and feminine polarity of God, the blue radiance of our Father God's power, the pink radiance of our Mother God's love, which we've always referred to as the Holy Spirit, were anchored within our flame, our heart flame. They merged into this magnificent flame, the violet flame of God's infinite perfection. Then that flame blazed into our brain centers, activating our pituitary, pineal, and hypothalamus glands and the ganglionic center at the base of our brain. And these centers are what awakened our crown chakra of enlightenment. And through the pineal gland, which is the spiritual brain center, through which our God Self, our I Am presence, projects the light of God through our pineal gland into our chakra systems, into our bodies. This is Christ consciousness, and through the awakened pineal gland and crown chakra, this sunshine yellow radiance of wisdom and enlightenment associated with Christ consciousness is also anchored in our heart as a yellow gold flame. So this is what the Sacred Heart is. And we saw in the Christian dispensation, we saw the heart of Jesus with a flame in it, and we've seen pictures of Mother Mary with a flame in it. And because of our misunderstanding, we thought, well, that's because they're divine and they're special, so they have this divinity within their heart. But they were modeling for us the divinity within us, and that divinity pulsates in each and every one of our hearts, and it's known as the immortal, victorious, threefold flame. And when we started misqualifying our gift of life, our thoughts, words, actions, and feelings, and started creating painful, negative experiences in our lives, like hate and war and disease and all of those things, we closed our heart chakra so we wouldn't feel so much pain. This caused the divine feminine, the love nature of our Mother God, to withdraw. This caused our right brain to become almost dormant. And the reason I'm sharing this now is because we are in the process of reversing this, so this is critical for us to understand. When our right brain became dormant, our spiritual brain centers atrophied, our crown chakra closed, the pineal gland and the rest of our brain centers became dormant. This is what cut us off from our I am presence and the company of heaven. Prior to that, we automatically had open heart and mind, telepathic communication with all the beings of light through our I am presence and our God self. So we could ask questions, and we had guidance, and we knew how to use our gifts of life to co-create patterns of perfection and to learn to become co-creators with our Father, Mother God, which was the reason for our being in the physical plane. So what happened is we closed our heart center. So a major part of the plan was to reactivate the divine feminine. And when we closed our heart center, this portal in South America, where the divine feminine, our Mother God, entered the physical plane, also became dormant. So one of the critical factors in the return of the divine feminine, awakening our right brain, opening our heart center again to the love of our Mother God, activating the spiritual brain centers, and birthing us into Christ consciousness, a major factor in order to be able to do that, which was reversing the adverse effects of our fall, was to open the portal in South America. So in order to do that, the plan was set into motion. It had to come through. You know, we are the ones that created the maladies of the fall, so we're responsible for reversing this. The company of heaven can't just wave a wand and do this for us. So the plan was set into the motion to draw the mass consciousness of humanity in Mexico and South America, in the area where the portal was, to the Divine Mother. And of course, the Divine Mother in their minds was Mother Mary, who has been certainly an exponent and a reflection of the Divine Feminine. So she began appearing to Juan Diego in the form of the Virgin of Guadalupe. And because of the miracle of the roses on the cape and things and her apparitions, that consciousness of that miracle began spreading like wildfire. And that took place in the 1400s on December 12th. That's when that began. So in order to begin accelerating this, we started focusing on the shift of the ages, which was this major shift, and that began with harmonic convergence in 1987. And the shift of the ages began focusing predominantly on this cycle of the Mayan calendar. But the beings of light said it is actually far greater than that. But the reason it was focused on the Mayan calendar was to draw people's attention to South America. And from 1987, when harmonic convergence began, for that 25-year period until 12/12/12 of this last year, there were literally thousands of light workers who made pilgrimages to the Maya land, to South America, bringing forces of love and awakening that opened that portal of the Divine Mother in South America. So on 12/12/12, that part of the divine plan was complete, and the portal of divine love, the feminine polarity of God, was open to full breath. Now, many activities of life have taken place over the past several decades, so that was the final step of preparation to allow the earth to move through the shift of the ages. And what the shift of the ages was, I mean, we all heard about the completion of the Mayan calendar on December 21st, 2012, and people were expecting everything under the sun, from the absolute end of the world to the instant manifestation of heaven on earth. And of course, never is that the way things manifest in the physical plane. But the shift of the ages, the beings of light revealed to us, was a moment in time when cycles within cycles within cycles throughout the whole of creation dovetail into one rhythmic momentum with our omniscient, omnipotent Father, Mother, God, the cosmic I Am, all that is. And this occurs once every so many million years. And when that happens, our Father, Mother, God breathes the whole of creation up the spiral of evolution into the next octave of our learning experience. So all creation moved forward in the light during this time. And there was a time when it was perceived that maybe everybody on earth would not be able to do that. So we heard the prophecies of the two earths, the old earth dropping away, and the new earth and the new heaven moving forward, but millions of people being left behind. Well, the beings of light said that the only time prophecies, revelations like that, are ever given that have that kind of a potential negative outcome is to reveal to humanity what will occur at our present course of direction and to inspire us to change our course of direction. A fulfilled negative prophecy of that magnitude would have been a failed prophecy. Actually, we did perceive that, and we did draw forth the light. And when I say we, I'm talking about the infinite number of activities of light all over the world that have taken place, literally billions of life streams every single day in one way or another, invoking the light of God. And during this 25-year period since harmonic convergence, the miracles beyond the greatest expectations took place, allowing the two earths to become one. And in fact, on December 21st, 2012, when we aligned with the galactic core of the Milky Way, our solar system, the Earth, and all life evolving upon her, made the shift into the higher frequencies of the fifth dimension with the rest of our solar system. We had been held in the densest chaotic frequencies of separation and duality in the third dimension, and we literally completed the shift through two-dimensional shifts into the fifth dimension, catching up with the rest of our solar system. Then on December 22nd, because of that God-victorious accomplishment, we birthed the frequencies of the fifth dimensional new Earth. And right now the two Earths are intermingling, and we're kind of walking with our feet in both worlds because we have to complete transmuting all of the negativity on the old Earth. So now 2013 is the first year of the birth of the new Earth, and incredible activities of light have taken place during this year that have greatly accelerated transmuting the misqualified energy, the patterns of separation and duality from the old Earth, and helping humanity integrate and move forward into these higher frequencies of the new Earth. One of the most important things is that awakened humanity reached a critical mass of divine love that allowed the masses of humanity, every person evolving on this planet, to experience through their God self the initial activation of their pineal glands and their return to Christ consciousness. Now, critical mass, so we'll understand how that can happen when that even souls that are totally asleep and acting out, still doing atrocious things to each other, could begin that initial impulse into Christ consciousness, is because when we reach critical mass, and the beings of light have said, in quantum mechanics, there's all kinds of derivatives and variables that determine when something reaches critical mass. But for our ascension in the light, they said for us to think of it as 51%. So that when 51% of the energy, vibration, and consciousness of humanity reaches the frequency of divine love, it created a quantum shift, and the other 49% was absorbed in the light, creating an unstoppable shift, moving the earth and all her life forward into a frequency of the fifth dimension that allowed even the most recalcitrant, resistant, asleep souls on the planet to experience the initial impulse of the awakening into Christ consciousness. And the beings of light have said that this is very complex and really beyond the comprehension of our finite minds. But they said this is actually the initial impulse of the second coming of the Christ that was prophesied to all of us. Jesus in the Christian dispensation in the Piscean age modeled the path of divine love and the return of Christ consciousness that would allow us to move forward in the light, but he modeled it in a way that each of us must follow. He didn't do it for us. So the second coming of the Christ is every person on the planet returning to that path of divine love, balancing the love of our Mother God within us, activating our right brain hemispheres, our spiritual brain centers, awakening our crown chakra, and the jewel in the center of the lotus blossom of our crown chakra, which is the pineal gland, returning to Christ consciousness. That actually took place on the anniversary of harmonic convergence in August of 2013. Then after that, we had reached this frequency where the portal of divine love that will bring a renaissance of divine love into the planet, which literally envelops the entire country of Italy, open to full breadth. And again, the first renaissance was part of that divine plan that took place at the same time that the Virgin of Guadalupe, about 500 years ago. And that was designed to, again, activate the right brain hemisphere, the creative, intuitive mind, to accelerate the return of the Mother, the divine feminine within us. So that first renaissance that took place over 500 years ago moved us from the age of darkness, literally this barbaric age and consciousness of darkness, into a new level of art and culture and literature and music and dance and civility, even when we were sound asleep as far as our spiritual growth goes. We moved forward this tremendous shift of consciousness. So now, this is even a greater, this is birthing and bringing in the patterns of the new earth, birthing a renaissance of divine love. There was a pilgrimage that took place, and that activation, opening this portal through which the patterns of perfection for the new earth are now flowing into the mental and emotional strata for all life on this planet. That opening took place in October. Then immediately following that, we have experienced in October and November two of the most powerful lunar and solar eclipses that we've ever experienced. And with the love flowing into the planet during that time, what took place during that 2-week period between those two eclipses is the greatest purging of the obsolete patterns of separation and duality from the old earth that allowed us to move forward, this quantum shift into the new vibration. Then, in the middle of November, there was a very powerful alignment and solar alignment of solar flares and alignment that allowed us to move forward again, another shift. Then we experienced literally this miracle of this event from the comet ISUN that has just recently passed into our solar system. And it's interesting that the name that the scientists and the astronomers came up with is ISUN, which is I-Sun, so it's like, again, I and S-O-N, activating what we've known of as, of course, it's the son and daughter, but the Christ consciousness, the Son of God within us. And this incredibly powerful event, it's fun to just look at the outer world symbology of it and to see the monumental divine intervention and plans that have gone in to Earth's ascension and our awakening, moving back into Christ consciousness. And with this comet, actually, the scientists determined that it is 4.5 billion years old, which is the timeline that's associated with the creation of our solar system. And the beings of light have said that is accurate, that our central sun and the manifestation of our suns and planets in our solar system were breathed forth from the heart of creation 4.5 billion years ago. We're a fairly young solar system in this overall evolution of our universe. And the comet ISUN, that we call ISUN, was created at the same time. And when our solar system was created, it was encoded with the genetic codes of all of the divine potentials. This is literally the RNA, DNA codes for every particle and wave, every subatomic facet of life that will evolve through our solar system. The full divine potential contained within the causal body of our Father, Mother, God. These identical codes were encoded, the activation codes encoded in the comet ISUN as well. And our astronomers, of course, consider comets to be nothing more than dirty snowballs. But that is inaccurate. Every minuscule atomic and subatomic particle and wave of life throughout the whole of creation pulsates in the divine matrix of our Father, Mother, God, the cosmic I am, all that is. Everything exists, lives, moves, breathes, and exists within this divine matrix, which is the body of God. And everything in the divine matrix of our Father, Mother, God pulsates with energy, vibration, and consciousness. And in other words, it is intelligent and it has a purpose and reason for being. And comets and meteors and things like that are considered consolidated light. And as they pass through the solar system, they literally, wherever they go, wherever they are directed and guided to go by the mighty Elohim, who are the builders of form, they literally shake the ethers of the solar system they enter and break down the crystallized, obsolete patterns that no longer serve the highest good of the sons and daughters of God and the life forms evolving in that solar system. And in their wake, they create a fluid field of unmanifest divine potential that the legions of light from on high can project and encode patterns of perfection, information, sacred knowledge that will accelerate the next phase of the growth of the sons and daughters of God evolving in that solar system. So for our evolutionary process, the beings of light said that this particular comet was initiated and has been assisting and standing in readiness, awaiting assistance for this cosmic moment of Earth's ascension in the light, this evolutionary process back to the heart of God since the beginning of time. And with all of the shifts of vibration that took place, it became very clear in 2012 that indeed humanity every man, woman, and child on the planet, the earth, and all life evolving upon her were indeed going to God victoriously succeed in making it through the shift of the ages, breathed into the fifth dimension. So at that time, the Elohim drew the comet Ison from wherever it was in our universe, and it began its journey into our solar system. And in 2012, September of 2012, is when astronomers discovered the Ison coming toward our solar system. And they were astonished at the size of this comet, and they had foretold that it was probably going to be the comet of the century. And it was determined that it was 4.5 billion years old, even though this was the very first time it was entering our particular solar system. And so they were hoping, of course, that it would make this journey around the sun and then pass by the Earth with this huge tail that they could research and find out about the creation of our solar system 4.5 billion years ago. But that was not the plan of this solar system and this comet. And so on November 28th, not by chance, the day when the United States of America celebrated Thanksgiving Day, the day when we are focusing on what we are grateful for, opening our hearts in gratitude and appreciation for everything we're grateful for. The comet Ison made its initial pass around the sun and was pulled into the sun. And on that day, this created a tremendous explosion of light that, through solar flares and through the energy expanding, projected the activation codes for the full divine potential of the earth and all life evolving upon her, and every particle of life in our whole solar system activated those original genetic codes. And on the earth, because we had fallen so far into separation and duality, that meant bringing us in to a greater shift back into Christ consciousness. So this activation that took place on Thanksgiving Day from the comet Ison has greatly accelerated the activation of our pineal gland, allowing us to receive far more energy of our Father, Mother, God, and God, light from God, these new patterns of perfection for our planetary cause of divine love, for this newly birthed renaissance of divine love. So it literally means now that the frequencies of the old earth are a mere fragment of what they used to be, and the patterns of perfection for the new earth and humanity's ascension into the full divine potential as sons and daughters of God, Christ consciousness, has moved forward a quantum leap. So today, on 12-12-13, again, these energies of the divine feminine are being expanded. So all of our spiritual brain centers are being greatly intensified. And this, again, is going to build in momentum until another major influx of light that will take place on the December solstice in December, on December 21st. And then that'll be, as the beings of light have said, this is just the beginning, of the miraculous shifts that we're going to have. And even after the birth of the new earth in January of 2013, they said the next 3 years are going to be monumental. The most critical time of any ascension process is in its inception. And the next 3 years are going to be monumental in shifting the consciousness and awakening humanity. And it's fun, you and I were talking earlier about the events that are taking place. Like right now, we're in the middle of this incredible celebration of the life of Nelson Mandela. And,
yes.
This isn't happening just by accident. This man was an incredible archetype for bringing healing and forgiveness, the consciousness of the potential of our Christ consciousness into the physical plane. And for this to be happening at this moment, with these incredible energies flowing into the planet, the celebration that they had on Tuesday morning I got up to watch it, and it was, 4 o'clock in the morning, our time in Tucson, of this 100 world leaders coming together for the first time ever in this way in South Africa, and having this broadcast, this consciousness of people sending their adoration and love for this man who is truly modeling the divine potential for humanity's return to Christ consciousness, and really even in its infancy, because even all the wonderful things that Nelson Mandela did is a minuscule fraction of what we will be doing when the collective consciousness of humanity moves into the full embrace of Christ consciousness. But this is giving us an outer world consciousness. It's kind of like the Olympic Games. There's such a powerful time for whenever we're focused on something, we create this collective cup of consciousness like we're doing now with Nelson Mandela. And this is going to expand until Sunday, when that they're having all these events still. So it's still during this time of the 12-12-13, it's still a powerful time. But the Olympic Games, for instance, the consciousness behind that is the family of humanity setting aside their differences, coming together, striving to reach the highest level of excellence, and they're doing it through sports, but it's still a thought form that greatly allows the company of heaven to amplify this through all of us. So this wonderful expansion of consciousness of Nelson Mandela, who they keep saying, even the most mundane news broadcasts are saying, the man who changed the world through the consciousness of forgiveness and oneness and coming together for the love of humanity, creating this rainbow of humanity. And they showed on the news after the memorial service that they had this huge rainbow that went across the venue in South Africa. They had the physical, actual from the elemental kingdom and the company of heaven just sending this expansion of love from the heavenly realms, modeling that to the world, which was really fun to see that. But these energies that are going to be expanded now, and our service and what the beings of light are saying that this is a time of vigilance. And this is not a vigilance based in fear. It's a vigilance truly based in the inner peace and the elation of knowing that we have absolutely made it through the shift of the ages, birthed the new earth, and now we're in the process of magnetizing these patterns of perfection into the physical plane.
What exciting times.
It truly is. It truly is. And that's why, the information that's coming from the higher realms is just flowing through every open door, because when we turn on the news from outer appearances, we don't always see that. I mean, there are incredibly wonderful things happening, and we can see evidence of that. And there's things like CNN has the celebration of heroes, modeling the incredible things people are doing all over the world to help each other and to reach out to each other. And we can see these shifts, but we also see things coming up to be purged and transmuted side by side with this, which is kind of confusing sometimes.
And we see it in our own lives, too, as a microcosm. I'm wondering if we could shift and talk, two questions are coming up at the same time, and they're in different directions. One is, what help we can give, what kind of support. Do you have any insights about some of the internal shifts, whether it's on the physical level, emotional, mental, spiritual, that, any of us could be experiencing as we do, as we receive and integrate this additional light?
Yes, I sure do. This is a unique moment that's never been attempted in any system of worlds. Excuse me, just 1 minute. And no one is in the physical plane by accident. We are all here because we have been preparing literally for hundreds of lifetimes to fulfill our unique facet of the divine plan. But we've also been into the densest frequencies of separation and duality. So we have this worthless sinner, worm in the dust consciousness that's beaten us down into feeling inadequate and disempowering us from our ability to be effective. So what we need to do is reverse that, connecting with our I am presence and saying, I am my I am presence, and I am one with the I am presence of all humanity. And then say, if I had no limitation, no time and space limitation, no family limitation, no financial limitations, no health limitations, and I could be my full empowered God self, what would I want to do to improve the quality of life on this planet? What would just make my heart sing? And I guarantee you that your God self will reveal to you things that resonate in your heart already, that you love, that you would want to have more time to do, you would want to be more effective in making a difference. And those things are available to you. You can find avenues, you can find volunteer groups, you can find other ways, support groups, ways of working with that. You don't have to be financially free. There's going to be ways that you can do that and fulfill your divine plan. So begin looking at what's available in your community, with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones, with your community, with your state, with the country, with the world, with your meditations, with your invocations, your decrees, your affirmations. Begin doing what makes your heart sing and making that positive difference. And just by taking those simple steps, the floodgates of heaven open in response to your heart call. The legions of light throughout infinity are anxiously awaiting the opportunity to help you be the most powerful, effective force of light you can possibly be on this planet.
Just taking a moment to absorb that message and think of the possibilities. And what if we experience some challenges on a personal level, in whatever way? How do we hold true to this vision, this understanding?
Well, we're definitely going to experience some challenges along the way because we're still walking with our feet in both worlds. And we're having the opportunity to create the wonders of what we want to manifest in our lives. And at the same time, all of the old patterns that we've been energizing, whether it's low self-esteem or unworthiness or failure consciousness or poverty consciousness or disease or whatever it is that's coming up, some of it we've agreed to transmute the mass consciousness of that. So it's not only just our own stuff, but we're transmuting it at a conscious level. For one thing, we need to move out of the victim consciousness and stop feeling like we're victims and this is just the happenstance that we've wandered into and there's nothing we can do to change it. At any given moment, our life is reflecting who we are and how we feel about ourselves. Not who we are at a core level, but who we believe we are. Like, unfortunately, even through many instances we've been taught that we're worthless sinners and worms in the dust. I mean, I've had people say from the pulpit of various religions that humanity is innately evil for God's sake. Well, how in the world can we fulfill this magnificent being we are as a beloved child of God, knowing that all our Father, Mother, God have is ours, and these activation codes that have now been activated within us of our full divine potential contains every potential glory and wonder of God. How can we do that if we believe we're these innately evil, worthless sinners and worms in the dust? So we have to work with the tool that's been given to us to transmute those thought forms. There's nothing more powerful then the frequency that is the perfect balance of the masculine polarity of God and the feminine polarity of God, which is the blue flame of our Father God's divine power and the pink flame of our Mother God's divine love. This sacred fire blending together creates the violet flame of God's infinite perfection, and it instantly transmutes back into light anything that we ask for it to transmute. So we can say, I am my I am presence. I am one with the I am presence for all humanity. And as I invoke this light for myself, I invoke it for all life on this planet. I invoke the violet flame to transmute every thought, word, action, or feeling, every memory, and every belief I've ever released in any time frame or dimension that is less than God's perfection. And I ask that it be transmuted back into light, building in momentum this violet flame with every breath I take. If we do that several times a day, we're transmuting the patterns of the old earth. And so these things that come up in our life that are causing challenges, we can say to ourselves, okay, this is just my stuff. It's the old stuff coming up. I'm going to detach from it. I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm going to look at it to see how can I handle it in the most positive way. But I'm going to blaze the violet flame to transmute whatever's causing it in the first place. And then say to yourself, how can I handle this situation in a way that adds to the light of the world? You know, we are one with all life. I mean, that's monumental to comprehend. That means that every single facet of life throughout the whole of creation is affected by every single thought, word, action, feeling, belief, or memory we express. So at any given moment, our thoughts and feelings are either adding to the light of the world or the shadows. So the vigilance that the company of heaven is asking us to have at this time is the vigilance over our thoughts and feelings, our actions, our words, our beliefs, our memories, saying moment by moment, is what I am thinking and feeling now adding to the light of the world or the shadows? And if it's adding to the shadows, you blaze the violet flame through it and then say, okay, what do I want to think or feel about this situation instead of that? How can I handle this challenge in a way that adds to the light of the world? And then blaze the violet flame through everything that created the challenge in the first place. This is just an incredibly simple but awesomely powerful tool that's available to us. And we need to do it moment by moment. Remember, we're working toward that critical mass. The moment you reach 51% of the energy, vibration, and consciousness of what you want to create in your life, instead of focusing on what you don't want, what you want to create in your life will manifest. For instance, if you're magnetizing prosperity in your life, the moment 51% of your energy, your vibration, and your consciousness is empowering prosperity consciousness and the infinite abundance of God, which is your divine birthright, instead of poverty consciousness and lack and limitation, you will manifest prosperity in your life, and nothing can prevent that. The problem is we never know how close we are to reaching that 51%. So every single day, we need to blaze the violet flame through everything that we've ever created that is less than the patterns of perfection for the new earth. Then we need to empower those patterns of perfection for the new earth with the thoughts, words, actions, and feelings.
So the power of the violet flame, as invoked by each of us through our I Am presence and uniting with others, really has the power to go throughout all time and space, and also to access what we may not even know exists within our subconscious minds. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Through all times and dimensions, known and unknown. We absolutely have the ability to do that. What we've often not understood is that as we receive our gift of light, which is the electronic light substance with which we send forth every thought, word, action, and feeling, this is the acupuncture meridians, the life force that activates our body. As that light enters the threefold flame in our heart, it's stamped with our individual electronic light pattern. So the universe knows exactly what energy out there is pulsating with our pattern, which one we've created. Now, when we invoke the violet flame on behalf of all humanity, from the very beginning, remember we said, I am my I am presence, and I am one with the I am presence of all humanity. So what we do is invoke the I am presence. That's invoking the I am presence of all humanity. So when we do that, this violet flame that we're invoking is blazed through that person's I am presence, stamped with their electronic pattern, and it transmutes their negativity through their I am presence in perfect alignment with their divine plan and their highest good, which their I am presence fully understands. So this is never, through this process and the I am presence, we can never interfere with their learning experiences or transmute something before they've completed accomplishing what they needed to learn from it. The I am presence knows exactly how the violet flame should work and does it perfectly.
So if you are doing this work on behalf of everyone, choosing to do that, then that still allows all individuals to have personal choice.
Absolutely, through their I am presence. And their I am presence will only make those choices in alignment with their divine plan and their highest good. And when we can see it with our inner vision, this is literally shifting from the microcosm of us individually to the macrocosm. And when I've done this, and I've experienced it at such a powerful heart level, and it's real for every single person, I see myself as this violet sun blazing in my home in this location in Tucson, Arizona. And when I say, and I'm doing this for all life.
We're going to have people moving to Tucson.
Well, no, it's everywhere. It expands, it explodes until you see with your mind's eye the entire planet Earth and every particle of life evolving on this planet blazing in this beautiful amethyst sun that is enveloping the Earth. We are the microcosm of the macrocosm. We are powerful beyond our knowing. And Jacqueline, on this incredibly powerful day, since we've been talking about this, I know we're coming close to the end of our time together. The beings of light have given us this visualization of empowering the patterns of perfection for this new earth and our newly birthed renaissance of divine love. This is the energy that has been blazing. It's been downloaded for a while and blazing now very powerfully through this newly opened portal of divine love that's pulsating over all of Italy but bathing all life on the earth. Would we have time to do that just for a few
Yes,
seconds?
absolutely.
We would? Okay. Should I go ahead and begin now?
Yes, please.
Right time? Okay. Let's just breathe in deeply and go within the divinity of our heart. Again, feeling yourself enveloped in the full divine radiance of your immortal, victorious threefold flame, the blue flame of our Father God's divine power, the pink flame of our Mother God's divine love, and the yellow gold flame of the Son and Daughter of God's divine wisdom, the enlightenment of Christ consciousness. We now, as one heartbeat, one breath, one voice, one energy, vibration, and consciousness of pure divine love, proceed with this activity of life. I am my I am presence, and I am one with the I am presence of all humanity. As one collective consciousness, We invoke our omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent Father, Mother, God, the cosmic I Am, all that is. And we invoke the entire company of heaven, the legions of light throughout infinity. Powers of light, join with me now, and with every man, woman, and child on earth, as we draw forth the patterns of perfection for our newly birthed renaissance of divine love through the portal in Italy, and co-create them in the world of form through our thoughts, words, feelings, actions, beliefs, and memories on this sacred and holy day, 12/12, which is celebrated as the feast day of the Virgin of Guadalupe, an exponent of the Divine Feminine. Through our heart flame, this energy will build in momentum with the power and might of 1,000 suns, daily and hourly increasing moment by moment until it expands exponentially through all creation through the influx of light that will take place on December 21st, 2013. And we begin. I am magnetizing the infinite flow of God's abundance, opulence, financial freedom, and the God supply of all good things into my life and the lives of all humanity. I am magnetizing eternal youth, vibrant health, radiant beauty, and flawless form into my life and the lives of all humanity. I am magnetizing perfect health habits, perfect eating and drinking habits, perfect exercise, work, relaxation, and recreation habits, and perfect devotional worship, meditation, contemplation, and life spiritual development habits into my life and the lives of all humanity. I am magnetizing divine family life, loving relationships, adoration, divine love, divine sexuality, true understanding, clear and effective communication, open heart and mind sharing, oneness and unification of the family of humanity into my life and the lives of all humanity. I am magnetizing eternal peace, divine government, cooperation, fairness, balance, harmony, and reverence for all life into my life and the lives of all humanity. I am magnetizing self-empowerment, success, fulfillment, divine purpose, a rewarding career, self-esteem, spiritual development, enlightenment, divine consciousness, and clear and truthful perception into my life and the lives of all humanity. I am magnetizing open heart and mind telepathic communication with the company of heaven and with the angelic and the elemental kingdoms as well into my life and the lives of all humanity. I am magnetizing creativity through music, singing, sound, toning, dance, movement, art, and education into my life and the lives of all humanity. I am magnetizing laughter, joy, playfulness, fun, self-expression, elation, enthusiasm, bliss, ecstasy, wonder, and awe into my life and the lives of all humanity. I am magnetizing heaven on earth, our planetary cause of divine love and our renaissance of divine love into my life and the lives of all humanity. I am my I am presence, and I am one with the I am presence of all humanity. And collectively now we accept and know that these patterns of perfection for our new renaissance of divine love are manifesting in our lives and in the lives of all humanity, daily and hourly, increasing with the power and might of 1,000 suns with every breath we take. We also accept and know that our Father, Mother God's fifth-dimensional, crystalline, solar violet flame is instantly transmuting every thought, feeling, word, action, belief, or memory that we may express in any time frame or dimension that might block or prevent these patterns of divine love from manifesting in our lives or in the lives of all humanity. In deep humility, divine love and gratitude, we now command and decree, it is done, and so it is. Beloved, I am. Beloved, I am. Beloved, I am.
What a beautiful blessing.
Thank you so much. We are such blessed children of God to be on the planet at this moment and to be able to participate in this unprecedented ascension in the light. It's a gift beyond the comprehension of any one of us in this physical plane. But as we participate in it, we have this elation in our hearts that confirms the truth of this new reality.
Yes, and I'm feeling very moved, and I'm expecting many others are as well. So let's just end with gratitude for being alive in this time and space and having the opportunity to come together like this and to experience your illumined message.
Thank you. And just remember that this is a time of joyous, vigilance, focusing on the light and staying active within the divinity of our hearts.
And so it is, and so it is. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Jacqueline.
You're welcome, and blessings to all, and until the next time. We'll get you the replay as quickly as we possibly can. Thank you.